Part 1. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, inshallah, I will be showing you how to write 5 words in Arabic using shortcuts. These shortcuts are very useful in our daily lives. So, let's start. First, I'm going to tell you the symbols, then the keys, then I'll show you the result using the correct font. So, the first word is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The symbols are F, D, F, D. Then the keys are Alt, and while you're pressing an Alt, you're pressing the letter X. Now I'm going to show you how it will look like in English and how it will look like in Arabic. So instead of you writing like this, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you can write it like this. And just a quick reminder, the only font that works with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is this font. It's called Seago UI Semi-Light. Now I'm going to show you the result. F, D, F, D, Alt, X. So as you can see over here, we got Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now I'm going to show you how to write the word Muhammad. So for the word Muhammad, the symbols are going to be, so for the symbols it's F, D, F4, and the keys are Alt, and while you're pressing an Alt, you're pressing the letter X. So instead of you writing like this, Muhammad, you can just do it like this. I'm going to show you the result. F, D, F4, Alt, X. Now you've got Muhammad. Now I'm going to show you how to write the word Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So for the word Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the symbols are F, D, F, A. Then the keys are Alt, and while you're pressing Alt, you're pressing the letter X. Now I'm going to show you, instead of you writing like this, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or if you don't write it like this, some people write it in shortcuts in English. So they write it like this, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then do the closing bracket. So instead of you writing it like this, you can write it like this, F, D, F, A, Alt, X. So over here you got Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'll change the font so you can have it a bit bigger. Now you can see it properly now. Now I'm going to show you how to write the word Allah. So for the word Allah, the symbols are F, D, F2. And then you do Alt, you press an Alt, and while you're pressing an Alt, you press the letter X. Now I'm going to show you. So instead of you writing Allah like this in English, you can write it in Arabic like this, F, D, F2, Alt, X. Now over here you've got Allah. Now I'm going to show you how to write the word Genjalali. So for the word Genjalali, the symbols are F, D, F, B, and then you press an Alt, and while you're pressing an Alt, you press the letter X. And just a little reminder that this only works on the Word document and on a device using a keyboard that has the word Alt. So now I'm going to show you the so instead of people writing the word Jalali like this, Jalali, you can just write it like this, F, D, F, B, Alt, X. I'm going to change the font so it can be a bit more bigger. Okay, so now you can see it. Now I'm going to show you how to write brackets. So if you got rid of the old brackets and you want to have like a type of more fancier one, so for the fancier one, it really depends which type of font you're using. So the first font I'm going to be using is the Modern Love Caps, and the second one is going to be the Calibri Body or Calibri Light. So for the opening bracket, the symbols are F, D, 3, E. And when you type it, you press on the button Alt, and while you're pressing on Alt, you press on letter X. So instead of you having this type of bracket, you can have it like this: F, D, 3, E, Alt, X. This is the type of circle one. Now I'm going to show you the same symbols and the same keys, but just different types of font. I'm going to show you one with a flower one. It's going to have a flower in the middle instead of a circle. So I'm going to use the same symbols: F, D, 3, E, Alt, X. Now I've got one with a flower. Now I'm going to show you how to do the closing brackets. So the symbols for the closing brackets are F, D, 3, F, and then you press on the button that says Alt, and while you're pressing on Alt, you press on the letter X. Now I'm going to show you the result. So instead of you having this old normal closing bracket, you can have it like this: F, D, 3, F, Alt, X. This is the circle one. Now I'm going to show you the one with the flower. So I'll change the font. F, D, 3, F, Alt, X. Now I've got one with the flower. So now using most of these shortcuts, I'm gonna be writing like a sentence. Like, you can call it a word or a sentence, but I'll just write it. It will look so beautiful. So let's start. F, D, and then we'll start with the opening bracket. F, D, 3, E, Alt, X. So this is the flower bracket. And then after that, we're gonna do Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we're gonna do F, D, F, A, Alt, X. And then we're going to do F, D, F4, Alt, X, and then we're going to do the closing bracket, F, D, 3, F, Alt, X. So now as you can see, this looks so beautiful, mashallah. So I'll zoom it in a bit bigger so you can see it properly. So this looks so beautiful. Now I'm going to show you one using the circle type of bracket. So I'll change the font. So we do F, D, 3, E, Alt, X, and then we're going to do F, D, F, A, Alt, X, and then after that we're going to be doing F, D, and then F4, Alt, X, and the closing bracket, which is going to be F, D, 3, F, Alt, X. So as you saw with different fonts, this font and this font, if you compare it, this is like the more smaller font, and this is more like a bigger font. This is more like the basic writing with a flower bracket, and this is more like the type of calligraphy writing with the circle bracket. And if you realized, this font made Sallallahu first, and then Alayhi, and then Wasallam. But for this font, it made Sallallahu in the first column, and then after that, you don't say the second one straight away. You say the last one, which is Alayhi, and then Wasallam. So I think this is more calligraphy. I like this better, but it's your opinion. So that's all I have for today. I hope I see you soon in part 2. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.